Hi, Flosstube.
I'm Nancy.
And I'm Laura.
And we are
the Addicted Sisters. This is a picture of our brother and our dad from 1968.
I remember Dad went inside and put his uniform on, and he came out just a swaggering, because he could get that on. She's like, oh, he thinks he's so smart because he can still get in his uniform.
I'm putting myself on airplane mode.
All right.
Right now. So we wanted to welcome you to our Flosstube number 62. Today is Saturday, May 25th, 2019. It is Memorial Day weekend in the States, and we're looking forward to an extra day off.
Yes, very much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all your subscriptions, comments, thumbs up. We love them. We've got quite a few this week. That was really fun.
Mm-hmm. I just realized I have to at least get the page set. I have to leave it on through comments.
Oh, because you have one you want to read out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was like, what are you doing?
now let me get on the right place. Okay, and hopefully, look, I could be making noise here in a minute.
You could
nope, my volume's off.
Okay, good.
Good deal. Okay, and
it's been a really rainy week. We've had, I think I saw that we had already 10 inches of rain. And, you know, places are flooding out. We've had tornadoes all around us.
Yes, it's been crazy.
It's been kind of scary.
So
luckily, we've been good.
So today I am wearing my Alaska shirt with my Aurora Borealis. I don't know that you can see them very well. My Aurora Borealis earrings, because our friend Keisha is on a cruise in Alaska.
Yes, she is.
And I'm feeling jealous because I've been and want to go back. But no, I'm really happy for them that they get to go have a nice vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to see. I gave her my scoop on making sure that she goes and checks out both of the places with the little bit of cross stitch and get some pretty fabric.
Getting her all lined up, huh?
Yeah. So
very good.
Anyway, your comments and questions for this week. Our question last week was, what questions do you have? What questions would you like answered? Mm-hmm. And you guys have some fun questions for us, and we think we're going to answer those. But also, I wanted to say thank you. Yes, I am more on the mend. Yes. I have one more week of school left with the kids.
I thought you were out yesterday.
No.
Darn.
We were supposed to be out Wednesday, half day.
Oh.
But because of all of the snow this year, we added all these, and we should have had to go even longer, but our summer school is set up to start the following Monday.
Yay!
So they counted that last day as multiple days, which we only have to go a half day to count as a full day.
Oh.
So why can't we go a full day and count it as 2 half days and make up 2 days at once?
Right. Well, and some of them, you know, they're thinking, I don't know if your district is going to do this, but they're counting late starts so that you can still get a full day. They're setting up a late start now instead of just canceling school completely.
Well, we've had late starts on our plan for a long time, and they didn't use any of them this last year.
So why not?
I don't know.
That would have saved you.
And also, the other thing that they have voted into law in Missouri now is that we can make up minutes, which is kind of good, because there was a district on the Kansas side that starting, you know, when we had so much snow, like in January, immediately they added 10 minutes to every day.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That would be perfect.
So, I mean, it would take a while to get to a half day, but you got to figure, okay, so that's 50 minutes a week, and you have to make up like 3.5 hours, because a school day is really only 6 or 6.5 hours for kids. So you figure every 4th week you've made
a day.
Yeah. So
that would be good.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And 10 minutes. I mean,
yeah, the kids won't notice that.
No.
They'll notice a whole day.
Yes.
They have to come back in, but
and I just wonder how many kids we're going to have, and we're having like events all week.
Yeah.
So I am going to be exhausted
Because you've
by
been playing
Friday.
all day.
Well, yeah, I mean it's not a regular schedule, and that
Yeah.
makes things harder.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we had a couple of comments. Oh, I had said that I love the sunshine stitchers, and I would really love to go to Florida and go visit the shop. So Mary Goodnow wrote back and said she would love to have us visit at the cross stitch cupboard in Fort Lauderdale, and she has worked there, what did it say, Nancy, 33 and a half years? It was a long time, and she said that 99.9% of the customers are happy.
Isn't that wonderful?
So
I mean, how many of us can say that about our job?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's fabulous.
That would be so fun. And don't say that, because as Nancy told you in her comment, we like our road trips.
Yep. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. And maybe we would have to stop and see Teresa Kitten Stitcher on our way. Yeah. Because I think we could make it to her and visit. And then...
But let's not get a F-150.
That was one of the comments. Jane Freer, her fun question poll was, who wants to go on a cross-country road trip in a big pickup with Nancy and Laura? Any takers? It is not always a pretty sight.
No, it's not. But it's fun.
It is. We like our road trips, and we're pretty well. We pretty well plan what we're gonna do.
We work together pretty well.
Nancy is not a eat your meal in the car kind of a person.
Oh no.
So we do get out, and we go sit for a couple hours, which sometimes makes me crazy because we've lost a long time. But I'm not the driver, so.
Well, sometimes you need that break from behind the wheel, just to relax. And
I think I said last time I talked about my family going to Alaska, or maybe, anyway, I've talked about it before. We drove there to Seattle, and we drove all the way, and we had little stops along the way. Stopped for breakfast, because we left about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we stopped at Mount Rushmore.
Oh, cool.
And we got out and we walked around, and I'm sure we spent way longer than we planned, but it was so cool to be there and to see it. And we didn't do any hiking around. His health doesn't allow us to really do anything, and we would have had to just leave him, and we hadn't really planned what to do. So anyway, that was that one. Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, Julie. She wrote and said, I have stopped at Osceola Cheese many times on the way to Lake Pomme de Terre. We love Osceola Cheese. And I told Julie, and I'll tell you guys, they have an online shop, and it's Osceola. Osceola Cheese. If you don't remember that, look up Boy Scout camps in Missouri, because that's where the Boy Scout camp is. And then you can look up Osceola Cheese. They're fabulous. We love them. Then she said, I had to laugh when you shouted me out for the sampler girl patterns, because I had just come back from pausing you two to go add a ton of West Wind patterns to my wish list. So if you were watching last week, Nancy had...
those are the patterns that I had that I showed that were Jane Eyre's.
Yeah. So we got a good kick out of that.
Yeah, that was fun.
We love those things. The other sweet comment, Amy loves toads. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Wrote, and she said, can I be a family member? Because you two are so sweet.
Sure, you can.
We love our
extended family.
Yes, we do. I was going to call you honorary, but no, we really don't think of you that way. We think of you more as extended family. So, anyway, that was very sweet.
Yes, thank you.
And look, Amy, I love toads too. Yeah, there you go. There's my frog, like Michelle sent you, with the bee in the belly. That's one of our Tula Pink fabrics.
Yeah.
So.
Cute.
I think Katie and I are taking Nancy to the Mecca today.
Yeah.
Nancy looks a little terrified, right? Okay, Belinda Z wanted to know, is there a certain way or thread you're supposed to start a piece? Do I have, this one is not too bad, piecewise. I don't know if I'll see it. You know what, Nancy? You have a whole wall of fabric behind us. Do you have a more solid, maybe I'll use,
Well, are these tan
I
ones
need a
over here?
linen, I think.
One of these up there.
That's Lugana.
Oh,
love
no,
figures.
I'll
You know what?
linen.
The red pair will work.
Can you see it good enough?
Okay. When you're looking at this, we're going to tell you that there is
Do you need a needle or something?
a vertical thread and a horizontal thread. And what you want to do is to make sure, yeah, that one doesn't have anything on it.
Okay.
You want to make sure that where you are getting it, you your vertical thread, you're to the side of your vertical thread.
So vertical and horizontal.
And I always get in here and just play with it and see. Normally I can tell because I've kind of trained my eye now. I'm just trying to get on a good spot for you, and I wiggle the thread back and forth to make sure it really is. Yeah. So, okay, I stitch.
Don't you want one of my long barrel needles?
Yeah, I have the little baby needle. I start in the top right corner of my stitch and I cross to the bottom left. So I make sure that my needle is to the right of the vertical thread. Now, if you were stitching from the top left, like most of you
I
do,
do the bottom left.
so you do the same stitch I do then.
Yeah, just the opposite direction.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're going that direction, then you would make sure that your needle is to the left of that vertical thread. So since I think most of you guys do that, I'll try and put this in here. I mean, it's how I see the holes, and it makes me crazy to do this now. Nancy's laughing.
The needle's going in and out.
I'm wiggling. But if you're stitching 2/2, it's really tight. That's the thing.
Well, that's what I wondered. Some of those.
Here's where mine would be. And I don't know that we're going to focus entirely here. Come on, focus right here. Maybe if I cover your face. Will we focus? Come on, baby. So I don't know that it's going to focus in for you, but that's my tip. And what happens, I've heard a lot of you say, oh, I tried linen and I hated it. And I think probably you've not started on the correct stitch, on the correct thread. So when those threads are going, you want the one where you can wiggle this vertical thread, because if the horizontal is on top, you can't wiggle it as much. You want the horizontal to be behind it. And like I said, where I stitch, I start, if you're starting bottom left to top right, then yours would be to the right, because that's where I land. Okay. So you would want the thread to the right to be your vertical thread, the one that is moving a little more.
Horizontal.
So it should go over the next one. And that way you will have, the holes should kind of pop up for you as you're stitching.
If you can get it in the right one to start with, then you can see all of them after that.
And let me tell you, I get it in the wrong place a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've got a piece to show you today that is off.
I think when I did mine on the red pair, mine was on the wrong one, because that fabric, there was something about it.
It's tight.
And I just didn't get it in, and I didn't want to stop and tear things out.
No. Mm-mm.
And maybe...
Who wants to frog?
Yeah.
That's
Amy.
the picture that's going to come out.
Yeah.
And it is tight.
It is. And so if you look for that, try that, see if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, maybe I'll try and set up a video where you can see a little more. I don't know if that would work on the bigger fabric or not. I mean, I guess it would. You could see the thread.
Yeah.
If I get my butterfly out, my new wings A, that would be way easier to see, because that's 18 count.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
So I could pull that out and show you. So let me know if that helped, if that makes sense, or if you need a little more. Anne Leonis wanted to know, what retreat are you referring to?
Well, Anne, the Addicted Sisters has a retreat coming up in July. We're so excited about it. It's July 11th through the 14th. Going to be here in Missouri in Blue Springs. And we want you and all your friends to join us.
And it's called the Show Me Retreat.
Yep.
And you can find out some basic information in our video called Show Me Secrets.
It's what's 27 to
between
28?
27 and 28. Yep. And the one thing that you should know is that we are not going to picture this plus the day before.
No, we are not.
If you're here, we may let you call down there and see if they're really going to be open, and we'll give you instructions and send you on your way. But it just was not going to work for us to have a big group go.
No, logistically, it was just going to be a nightmare trying to get that done. So.
And it's such a cute little town that you would have some things to be able to see. It's the birthplace of Eisenhower. So there's an Eisenhower museum. There's a Greyhound museum, and they have some Greyhounds in there, like the dogs. They have some of the Greyhound dogs in there.
Yeah, not the bus.
And there are lots of good restaurants and things, and it's just kind of a nice trip.
And it's like you said, it's just a cute little town. We know where to turn because we see the hardware store, which sets up a display all the time.
And it's always a rainbow display
of an item. Pretty.
So we've seen like I like the little cars, the little metal cars that you can
that you pedal.
Yes, the pedal cars. There we go. And
the Adirondack chairs.
Yes, and the big umbrellas.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some adorable ones, and especially in spring.
Yeah.
They do something like that.
So fun.
So spring, summer, that should be fun. If some of you are dying to go...
And that's Abilene, Kansas, by the way.
Yes. Okay. And if some of you are dying to go see Heart's Desire in Wichita, we can send you that way. It's about an equally long trip to get there, about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And you should have a great time there.
Yeah. That's another nice little town. We haven't really spent time in the town proper.
In Wichita.
Yeah.
I've spent some time in Wichita because I lived down there for a year.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we haven't walked around in that area or, shopped that area. But her shop is fabulous.
And there's a Mexican place right up the street that we really like.
Yeah, that's
We kind of like our Mexican food.
We sure do.
So, we have to check it out and make sure that it's gluten-free. We haven't checked that since I've been gluten-free.
Right.
But, we'll make that work. Okay, and then Emma Crosstitch wants to know, what room are you filming in?
This is my craft room office. So I've got my desk over here with my computer and stuff, and cross-stitch fabric, of course, and then all my cross-stitch stuff over there.
Oh, I guess I have the one that's for them that looks like that, yeah. Oh, but I see something that looks like what we'll have for you guys when we get to retreat.
Yeah.
Exciting.
You'll have to guess about that.
Okay, and one more. Crafty Cat. Hi, Kathy. Says, does the possibility of a 2020 Show Me retreat depend on how the 2019 goes? Or do you think that will be a reality even before you experience the 2019 retreat? And I think Nancy very, cryptically said, you might have to listen in.
Watch and see.
Okay, so I would say, are you going to answer it?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, you just said I would say.
Yeah, well, I wanted to know if you were going to answer it, so go ahead. You can answer.
Oh, no, you can say. I would say yes.
Yes, there will be a retreat next year. We've already planned to hold this for as long as you guys will come.
Yeah.
In 2023, we are planning to go on a stitching cruise.
Yep.
So you should be saving pennies toward that.
Not a cruise from hell, a stitching cruise.
We have one place we will no longer leave from, and we won't say it because
No,
you know.
it's just personal preference and things that have happened to
Yeah.
us.
Every time
you
we
know.
leave from there are problems.
It's not good.
You don't want to go with us if we leave from there.
No.
So we will leave from somewhere else.
Yeah.
We'll figure out. Ooh, so our question of the week. Can you guess? What is it, Nancy?
If you were going on a cruise, where would you like to leave from?
Oh, I was just going to say.
That's what happens when you open the door.
I was going to ask, what should our cruise destination be?
Oh, okay.
Or
That
what
one's
cruise
good, too.
ports? What should be our cruise ports?
Where would you like to go?
Oh, there you go.
I keep moving this little piece of red fabric around. It's worrying me.
Put it back.
I'd have to climb over there and I don't want to do it.
I could do it. Okay, I just put, what should our cruise 2023 ports be? How about that?
Okay.
That's kind of a
Got it?
combination. That's it. And did you see that last week I even put the question on there? On our drop down?
Good for you.
So if I think about it, I really do put things. Did you watch anybody this week?
Did I? No, I didn't.
I watched a few people. I've realized that a lot of the time I start at the top of my list, and that for a while then I started skipping down and I was starting at the middle of my list, but I never start at the bottom.
Oh.
And I got down there,
And you have yours alphabetized?
It is alphabetized,
So, yeah.
yeah.
It makes a difference.
So I got down there and I got to watch Vanna.
Oh.
And I watched,
God, I haven't watched her forever.
and I missed it, Nancy. And you have too now. Doggone it. Vanna had, she's realized she's hit 11K or 13K
Oh, my word.
members. And so she offered a special thing that through May 10th, you could put your name in, and she's going to start drawing random names and finishing one item free for people.
Oh, my God.
And we missed it!
Oh.
And oh my
Why didn't you
gosh.
tell us?
Come on! So, Vanna, I'm so sad I missed that. But the
Yeah.
cool thing she did is that she had been stitching the face of Jesus for Lent.
Yes.
Okay.
Was beautiful.
And we've seen all those updates.
Yes.
And they're fabulous. She took them all and put them in a video.
Oh, cool.
So we got to watch a time lapse of her stitching
Nice.
Jesus's face. And it was the coolest thing because, I mean, we've watched it. We know how amazing it is.
Yes.
And when she filmed this, she was not finished with it. She still had a little bit on the top, whatever's right on top from about here, I think, up. And it was just really cool, though, to see.
I remember last year, I think she started working on it, and she got off a couple stitches and had to take all of that back out. And, it was so sad.
She said that she was too smart for her own good and thought that that she needed to use 40 count linen for Jesus because that would be the only thing good enough for him. And so what she ended up stitching the piece on was Ada, 14 count Ada, and she held it back and she said, "Can you tell this is Ada?" So, and you guys know I have a huge preference for linen, but that is a personal preference.
Yeah.
And it's not that I think that, people who stitch on Ada are less or not as
skilled.
talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that at all. It is that I personally prefer linen.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys also know that I'm using that crazy 18 count, well, it says it's a linen, but that 18 count linen, and I'm stitching over two for the
you've done
piece.
Tula, and
Mm-hmm.
you've done all sorts of things. And
I like some crazy
and
pieces.
when we started stitching, Ada was hard
Oh.
and stiff, and the linen just
It was like this.
yeah. I mean, it was hard. My hands.
Yes, your
You know.
hands would hurt.
Yeah, and good for you people that can sew on that stuff. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, at that point. But now,
Now it's beautiful.
and it's soft,
Yes.
and yeah. And my preference, my thing against even weave, which Nancy loves even weave because she doesn't like all the crazy slubs all the
Right.
time.
Drives me bananas if my stitches are going like this.
And I love the wonky. And that's why we're here. But my thing is that I tend to split those threads, and it feels funny to me.
Sometimes I do split the threads. It depends on how soft it actually is, because that one pink that we all stitched on, those, I split that every time.
Yeah,
I really have to watch it.
And, you know, I listen to floss tubers talk about, oh, I love this because it's this. And I listen to people say that when it's really soft, you should put it in
A hoop,
or Q-snaps or something,
Yeah.
because that'll help give it some body. But Nancy and I are sewers.
Yeah.
And so to try and use anything like that, we would have to be poke and stab.
Yeah, and I couldn't do that.
And I know that's like English and, what is it, English and Dutch?
I don't know. But
Somebody
I do find myself taking it and stretching it more, you know, so my fingers get really tired and sore.
Yeah, and I don't know how my finger looks today. Look at that first finger.
Here.
I cannot have anything going on. And this one, this pinky now, with the arthritis, can you see that? It doesn't straighten out all the way. Oh, look.